What does the president mean when he says that if these negotiations don't work out, he will end Iran's civilization?
Well, Senator, I think that statement in the broader context, he also talked about attacking infrastructure, bridges, power plants, and we all know Iran has a long history of commingling both civilian and military, of hiding weapons in hospitals and schools, and using what could be just pure civilian infrastructure to also power factories for drones, for missiles, and the IRGC controls nearly 50% of the economy. I think it looks like, frankly, well, look,
what does it mean to end it? I guess what does it mean? What does it mean to end a civilization?
But I think we have to look at the fact that you have a regime that literally chants death to America for the last 47 years and has acted on it, has killed thousands of Americans, has slaughtered its own people. Do you know how many machine gun bullets does it take over the course of a week to kill 40,000 of its own people?
Right, but does that merit a threat to civilization?
Oh, come on. What are you talking about? So America is not a civilization to you? Are you really concerned about the civilization, or you just hate Trump? You just hate Trump, right? Why not you go to Iran? You live there if you are so concerned for them.
Some tough talk. And what are the results? What are the results? Was we had the highest level engagement in the history of the Iranian regime with the vice president and speaker of the parliament less than a week later. We had a ceasefire 48 hours later. They clearly got the message, and they clearly came back to the table.
And I guess it's an open question as to whether we should try to pursue our aims by threatening another nation with mass civilian casualty. I don't know that that's something that we should celebrate, that we are able to cow nations to our demands by threatening to kill civilians.
As a former military member, and I'm safe in speaking for our military, they take every precaution possible to avoid civilian casualties. But this regime responded. And again, if we focus on the results over the rhetoric, they came to the table, they got the message, they put the ceasefire in place, they haven't honored it with the Straits of Hormuz, and now we have talks ongoing.
Let me ask you about the Strait, because obviously that is what is impacting our constituents in a significant way. Did the administration anticipate that Iran would close the Strait, or was that a surprise?
Oh, I can tell you, having formerly worked in the Pentagon and been in the military for 27 years, and the committees I sat on in Congress, that has been war gamed over and over and over again by CENTCOM. And as you know, the CENTCOM commander was the former Fifth Fleet commander out of Bahrain.
So it was anticipated.
Well, it was anticipated. To my knowledge, again, I'm sitting, up at the UN, absolutely. But at the same time, the measures they took to sink nearly 24 mine layers, to go after those land-based missiles that they are using, to go after the drone, not just the drones, but the manufacturing capability, was to drastically reduce that threat, which is why I think you've seen now dozens of ships moving over the last few days.
And dozens of ships moving compared to hundreds of ships normally.
Well, sure. I mean, Iran, in violation of international law, declared now the Straits of Hormuz its own waters. It's essentially punishing the entire world, and I think the president should be applauded for flipping the script, because now their ships can't move.
Lastly, just one clarification on another war goal. Is it a goal of the war to enact regime change? And if so, have you accomplished that goal? The president has referred to the regime having changed and that being a successful byproduct of the war.
Senator, I think the president's made his goals quite clear from a military standpoint. The vice president made it clear in Islamabad: open the sea lanes, no nuclear program, end its decades of support for terrorism, and have a negotiated arrangement that's verifiable and enforceable.
So not regime change.
Well, if the regime ends up changing in some fashion or form, I'll tell you what, the regime's got to change its behavior. It's unacceptable, and we cannot let it have a nuclear weapon.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Chairman. The hypocrisy of the Democrats is truly on full display in this hearing. They are deeply offended and concerned because President Trump mentioned ending a civilization if negotiation fails. Yet they have absolutely nothing to say about a regime that has literally been chanting death to America for the last 47 years. Think about the audacity here. Iran acts on its threats. They've killed thousands of Americans and even slaughtered 40,000 of their own people in a single week. But the Democrats want to lecture us about rhetoric. They seem more worried about protecting the feelings of a hostile regime than standing up for American safety. If the Democrats are so concerned about Iran and find its culture so much more agreeable than Trump's trend, then maybe they should start migrating to the Middle East. Then they could move to Iran and see firsthand how that civilization treats people. It's a total double standard to cry about a president using tough talk to bring terrorists to the table, while staying silent on a regime that wishes death upon us every single day. We should be applauding the result, like opening the sea lanes and stopping nuclear progress, instead of cuddling our enemies. Right? What a double standard for the Democrats. I don't really think that they are really concerned about a civilization. Nah, they just hate Trump. Imagine if it was Biden or Obama will say they will erase the civilization. Do you know what the Democrats will do? They will do like that. That's the double standard of this hypocrite people. But also I want to know your thoughts about this. It's funny. It's a little funny. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Don't forget to comment down below. Let's discuss your thought. I'm out. Peace.